What happened so far? Dr. Heinrich Faust is an academic and attractive bachelor in the middle of his midlife crisis. Therefore, he takes on a poodle, which turns out to be the devil called Mephisto. Then again, this might be due to Faust's experiments with psychedelics and situations of borderline experience. He bets his soul that Mephisto cannot really entertain him, makes a hormone therapy, and has an affair with Gretchen, who could be his granddaughter, in the course of which, by accident, her whole family is wiped out. From a religious point of view, though, this is absolutely all right. It is not surprising, then, that he is lying and resting in a kind of coma in a wonderful Arcadian landscape. Besides Faust, there are the following characters. Mephisto, who is enjoying himself like hell. The Emperor, not the Sith one, but the Holy Roman one. Faust's old assistant Wagner, who is now a professor himself and has bred Homunculus, a kind of clone test tube baby who wants to break free. Of the many creatures from Greek mythology, we only mention Chiron, the famous centaur, doctor and chiropractor, and Helena. Yeah, the Helena, the reason for the Trojan War, who is still very attractive after a prolonged spell in the netherworld. Finally, there's the terror of real estate agents, the old couple Philemon and Baucis. And of course, dozens of courtiers, Greek fairy tale monsters, lemurs, and the devil knows what else. Yeah, no, you want me to tell? Yeah, thanks, we'll get to that. The tragedy is about love, capitalism, the meaning of life, but first and foremost about the different party traditions in Northern and Southern Europe. Sleeping Faust is visited by Ariel, who has his day off at Shakespeare's Today and, to make ends meet, works as a hypnotherapist here too. Now, when you wake up, you'll feel fantastic, snip! And Faust wakes up and goes, "Oh, I feel fantastic, mischief, here I come." And with that, he's gone for a while, and we get to know the Holy Roman Emperor, who seems to have a little financial problem, at least his counselors go. Corruption everywhere, we don't have enough military budget, tax deficits, we had to take out a loan to finance the imperial parties. Especially the last item is quite shocking to the Emperor, so he asks his jester, Mephisto, what to do now, and he goes, "Not a problem, you got so many natural resources, you're rich, Emperor." "Well then, let's have them. I can't pull them out of my head." "Well, I could, but let's have a party first of all." The Emperor is very fond of parties, and at this one, loads of allegorical figures show up, among them Plutus, the allegory of wealth, which is really Faust in disguise. And he chucks treasures into the crowd, which, however, are singeing and kindling everything. You got to remember this is before the age of the Mockingjay, yeah? Fire still singes. And even the Emperor's beard catches fire when he inspects the treasure, which is kind of embarrassing to Faust, and he goes, "Sorry, your majesty, my name is Faust, and well, at least your debts are paid now with paper money." "That works, yeah." "Cool, man, then party on. Why don't you conjure up Brangelina?" "Oh no, they're not in fashion anymore. What's name? Helena in Paris, the most attractive couple ever for me." And Faust goes, "Mephisto?" "Yeah." "How do I do that?" "Well, you gotta descend to the mothers and bring up a glowing tripod from down there, and with the help of that, we'll conjure up the ghosts of Helena in Paris." And Faust doesn't shy away from the task, descends to these mystical figures with the ill-boding name, whom Goethe invented, by the way, and fetches a glowing tripod, which in our version is played by an egg pod instead, and with the help of this magical household appliance, the ghosts of the two celebrities are conjured up. In a dumb show, these shadows then mime the kidnapping of Helena, and Faust goes, "Blimey, she's the one from the magic mirror in part 1. I'm totally smitten with her. You take your dirty hands off her, you Greek sissy," and he tries to interfere with the pantomime when, poof, they are gone, and Faust swoons. Mephisto already sees his chance looming concerning Faust's soul, and he takes the unconscious doctor to his old study where the pact with the devil was signed. Then the student from part 1 storms into the room and goes, "You did a great job of pulling my leg then. Wait a minute, but I'm a Bachelor of Arts now, and Professor Wagner has bred this homunculus. That's me, and here's my homunculus." And Mephisto, thrilled by this creature, and goes, "Here, little one, can you reanimate Faust there?" And he takes a look at him and goes, he's having a wet dream. He's dreaming of water. My advice, take a holiday in the warm south. Greece, classical Walpurgis night. Thessalian witches. Thessalian witches, that's not my usual hunting ground, but I absolutely want to see that. So Homunculus grabs a budget airline magic coat and, together with Faust and Mephisto, wings it to Greece. Wagner's left behind looking somewhat disappointed. The party mile, Phassalic Fields in the Greek Midlands, is a battleground from antiquity and is divided into 3 dance floors. Mephisto starts out on the northern one, the upper dance floor, and goes, "So where are the witches around here?" But he only meets griffins, sphinxes, and sirens. Faust goes, "Where is Helena? Why don't you ask Chiron?" So Faust searches for Chiron. He finds the centaur, leaps into the non-existent saddle and goes, "Take me to Helena!" Well, I don't know where she is either, but I'll take you to Manto. This is Manto. "She can take you to the realm of the dead, and there you just ask if Helena can have a little holiday." And he goes, "Thank you!" And being the brave heart he is, he descends into the realm of the dead. Mephisto is not amused. "Where are the witches around here?" But instead of witches, he meets a philosopher, which he finds stupid, but Homunculus doesn't, and goes, "Here, philosopher, maybe you could help me. I'd like to take shape, acquire a gestalt, to become a fully fledged being. How do I do that?" And the philosopher goes, "Well, according to Darwin, life begins in the water, so why don't we go down to the sea?" So this is what they do, and Mephisto has finally found someone he absolutely adores, namely the three most ugly sisters in the world, the Forsythes, who have to share one eye and tooth between the three of them, and he goes, "You look so cool, I want to be a Phorkyrus too," and henceforth he poses in their shape. At the seaside, Homunculus not only meets many mythological sea creatures such as Nereids and Tritons, but also, finally, the old shapeshifter Proteus himself. "So what are you?" "I'm someone who would like to take shape. You've got so many shapes, you couldn't spare a second-hand shape of yours, could you?" "Ah, let's go for a swim." And boom, faster than lightning, he's Flipper, and they dive into the floods. Homunculus totally forgets that he's only a very fragile glass shell protecting him, bumps into something and crash smashes it and dies, and his story ends. And with this crash, we find ourselves in front of the palace of Menelaus at Sparta, where Faust has really succeeded in resurrecting Helena. Naturally, she's still a bit stoned after the reanimation and goes, "I think I'm Helena. I come from the beach and my husband says to prepare the sacrifice." "Ugh, what are you?" "I'm the old servant." It's Mephisto disguised as Phorkyrus. "Listen, your husband wants to sacrifice you because he's fed up with you as you started the Trojan War." "But Paris kidnapped me." "Sure. Now, if I were you, I'd turn to my new Northern European neighbor who has built a holiday castle next door." "Well, if you say so." "Exactly." And bang, they are at the rather medieval castle whose owner is none but Dr. Faust. He's dragging along a watchman and goes, "Hello, Helen. This useless git was on the lookout, but has failed to tell me of your arrival. So what do we do with him? Kill him or just mutilate?" "Please don't." So he lets him go and goes, "You are so beautiful to me. Please take my credit card for free." "Wow, that's so sweet what you're doing with your words there." "Yeah, you ancient Greeks don't know that. It's called rhyming where I'm from. That's just like two people very much in love with each other." And she goes, "Ah," and she melts like milk chocolate under the Greek sun. And he goes, "Wah, what's up?" And he's told that Menelaus, surprisingly, wants his wife back, and Faust goes, "I'm going to give him a hiding," but he doesn't do that himself, but his men. And once again, there's war over Helena. Then there's a time leap, and we see Helena and Faust a couple of years later, when they have hatched Euphorion, a little boy. The family are living in an idyllic Arcadian country, just the boy is rather hyperactive and a problem child. "Get a grip now, you little bugger." "No, I want to jump." He seems to think he's a kangaroo, and poof, he falls into an abyss and is dead, and Helena goes, "In that case, I don't want to live anymore either," and she dies as well, and all that Faust has left of his holiday flirt is her dress. Now Mephisto and Faust are fed up with Greece and return home, and they get into a kind of fortress the emperor has set up in the Alps, because after the paper money experiment, the German Reich has fallen into chaos. A civil war is raging, and the emperor is in severe trouble, and Faust goes, "You know, Mephisto, this was quite enough holiday. I want to do something. I mean, not necessarily with my own hands, but how about artificial land reclamation like they do in Holland?" And Mephisto replies, "Yeah, right. Why don't you win the war for the emperor? Maybe he's going to endow you with a fiefdom." So Mephisto conjures up the three mighty warriors, you know, the kind of half-giants that are handy in any war, really. And Faust goes, "Emperor, how about I win the war for you?" "Sure, go ahead." And there's a battle that really stands on knife edge, so Mephisto has to conjure up a deluge, and I don't know why I have the feeling I've seen all of this in the Lord of the Rings movies. Anyway, in the end, "Yeah, the usurping anti-emperor is defeated and you get a fiefdom at the coast. Tax-free." "Yeah, tax-free." And bang, another time leap. We found ourselves in the area in which Faust has been doing his land reclamation for years already, in front of a little hut where a wanderer meets the old couple Philemon and Baucis. And he goes, "Philemon, Baucis, so great to see you're still living here. The real estate sharks have really devoured and gentrified the whole neighborhood, haven't they?" "Yeah, Faust wanted to buy us out too, but we don't capitulate, especially as he's such a godless guy. This whole building of dikes, canals and palaces, black magic." "Oh, let's quickly go to the chapel then, shall we?" Because next to the little hut, there's also a little chapel whose bell is now ringing. Faust, in the meantime, is 100 years old and quite freaked out. "Fucking jingle bells!" And Mephisto goes, "Calm down, you're rich, old and successful, but this old leftist riffraff are still sitting up there and simply won't die. That so gets on my wick. Off to the retirement home with pleasure. And a little later, oh, there's a fire. Well, we would have demolished the hut anyway to build a belvedere. Sorry, Faust, they didn't want to leave and dropped dead from the shock. Oh, I didn't want that. And maybe it's his bad conscience, but in the evening, Care knocks on his door. Want, Guilt and Necessity had planned to come too, but have gone to the pub instead. Is someone there? Yeah. Piss off! Haven't you known Care? No, I was running around everywhere. Well, you won't forget me now. And she breathes at him with such a halitosis that he goes blind. No, I'm blind! And Mephisto now rubs his hand, expecting to finally get his soul, and he tells his magical employees, the lemurs, go on, dig his grave. And Faust goes, aha, work is still being done. At least my projects are running. Now, if I could say to the moment, stay a while, you are so lovely. And as if his plug had finally been pulled, he sinks back and is dead. And Mephisto goes, yes, finally he said the magic words. This is my soul. Colleagues, devils, to me and protect me. I bet there's going to be devilish advocates from heaven who will be trying to cheat us of his soul, and devils surround him and try to take Faust's soul with them to hell, and by contract the soul is really Mephisto's. But the heavenly hosts arrive and chuck rose petals at the devils from above. This is so unfair, my aren't they looking appetizing? And for a moment Mephisto's distracted when the heavenly marines snatch Faust's soul and take him up with them. And Mephisto remains wailing below, no! During the final credits, we learn which heavenly creature was the main agent of Faust's deliverance, namely the angel formerly known as Gretchen, who goes, the former lover, from sins uncovered, he now is back, which leads us to the conclusion of the whole play, eternal womanhood draws us on high. And this, dear congregation, was Faust, the second part of the tragedy by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Vielen Dank.